Welcome. My name is Sandra Metz, and I'm one of the SLDS trainers for the Georgia Department of Education. Today's session will be on assessment data. I hope you've logged into your student information system. If you haven't, please do so now. If you do not have access to a student information system at this moment, you can open a browser and type in the following address. I will read it out loud to you. Lowercase GOO.GL / lowercase OF4, lowercase c, uppercase TB. You'll be taken directly to a teacher's dashboard. I hope you're familiar with SLDS or TRL. If not, I suggest you stop this recording and watch the SLDS or TRL overview recording before proceeding with this one. The knowledge you acquire from viewing these webinars will enable you to comprehend more of this session. Later in this presentation, you'll be asked to complete an electronic sign-in. This even relates to those who are watching the recorded version. This will be your ticket out the door. We'll use the content information to send you a certificate of attendance. You may share that certificate with your administration in case you need proof of attending. I hope you guys are all on your teacher dashboard and ready to get started. The assessment data available for teachers through the teacher dashboard include pre-K data, GKIDS data, end-of-grade test, end-of-course test, local assessment data, and GoFar results. We will begin by scrolling down your teacher dashboard, past your class roster, and your attendance data. You'll see the Classroom Lexile image. If you'd like to know more about this, please go to our recorded session on Lexile reading comprehension. You continue scrolling down your teacher dashboard past that. You'll eventually come to where you see the end-of-grade test or the end-of-course test results. Here is where you get to choose whatever assessment you want to look at, either end-of-grade or end-of-course. You can see your levels of achievement from beginning learner level to developing learner, proficient, and distinguished. You are able to see how your percentage of students compared in your classroom to everybody else in the particular school you're in, to everybody else in your district, and to everybody else in the state on the same exact assessment. Like this is looking at the 2016 main milestone end-of-grade test English language arts. And I'm able to see how my students compare across the school, the district, and the state. Now, you get to choose which level of achievement in your classroom you'd like to look at. I'm going to click on beginning learner level in my milestones EOG. See how my cursor turned to a hand? I'm going to click right there on that red section of that band. When you do that, your computer is going to generate a list of students in alphabetical order that scored in that particular level of achievement on that state assessment. It will always be restated at the top of your page. As you see, it says assessment, milestone, end-of-grade, English language arts, beginner learner level. They always have the legend at the top for any of the state assessments that we have given. Now you see I have all my students that scored at beginning learner level on the EOG and ELA in alphabetical order with the demographics, days absence, and their state achievement on all content areas on that particular assessment. I want to go across the headers at the top to ensure that everybody understands what we're talking about. There's a student name, their grade level, race, ethnicity, English language learner, economically disadvantaged, gifted, retained. Now there's a Y here in this column under retained. It does not mean that child was retained. What that Y is an indicator of is that child met the criteria to be retained in the previous academic school year. Then you have your students with disabilities, which are your special ed students. The number of days this particular student missed last academic school year, and the assessments on that particular taken in the spring of 2015, all of them by all content areas with the levels of achievement coded here. Now, if I choose to do so, you realize we do have much more than just 1 year of assessment data on these students in our platform, but all I'm seeing is one. How do I get to additional years? Well, if you migrate back up to the top of your screen, you can see your tabs. Down below you see quick links, then you see school years. If I do the arrow down next to it, I'm going to choose select all, then I'm going to migrate to the right hand side of my screen. I'm going to click view report. When I do this, this will now load that same report, but it will add all the additional assessment data we have for that student. See how many more years I have? Especially my first student up there. I have in-the-grade tests, CLCT results, and access results. Oh my gosh, I don't remember access. How do I remember to know what the legend means? I can go up to the top and I can see how that child scored by looking at assessment, the access legend, and comparing it down here. I'm going to pause now to let you take time to look at the various assessments and experiment with this areas of drilling down into the very levels of achievement by assessment choices. Now remember, within SLDS, the floppy disk is your export feature. As you see, I click the black arrow next to the floppy disk, and those are my choices that I can export with. This one, I would choose to export it into Excel or CVS Common Eliminated. It's your personal preference, but I'm going to pause the screen at this time. Now that you are through with exploring assessment data, there are 3 ways to go back to your teacher dashboard. You may click on that blue arrow till you get there, or you can click on the hyperlink that says teacher dashboard, or you may click on SLDS and it'll take you back to your teacher dashboard. Once my screen loads, I'm going to scroll down again down my screen and go past the assessments. I'm going to go past the course grades till I get to the very, very, very bottom of my screen. At the very bottom of your screen, you see State Assessment Classroom Performance. Please click on that. When the screen loads, you'll see content areas listed below the various assessments. I only have one assessment listed here, but if you're an end-of-course test, you may have more than just one. I have milestones EOG, spring 2015-2016 with the content areas with the levels of achievement again with my legend. But you notice what's different here is I have a plus sign listed next to these. I'm going to click the plus sign next to mathematics. When I do this, you see my screen now is showing you the various domains on the left-hand side, but then I have the mastery categories, remediate, monitor, and accelerate. I'm only a 6th grade teacher in this platform. However, if you teach more than one grade level, you might want to click the plus signs next to the domains, and it will break it out by grade level. So you see, I just have 6th grade students here. The numbers within the bubbles represent the number of the students that are in that level. As you see, as I move my mouse over, the pointer changes to a hand and a pop-up box appears. But what's even better than that, I can click on that bubble, and when I do, the computer generates a list of my students in alphabetical order. It gives you a header to remind you what you clicked on, milestones in the grade, spring 2016, mathematics, geometry, remediate learning. These are all my students with all their demographics coded. Can I export this list? I certainly can. My little export feature, and you can choose your flavor that you want to export it with. What's also good about this, you'll see we're about to go to the student profile page, and I'm going to tell you here, all the children's names are blue, which means they're hyperlinked to the student profile page. But right now, what I want you to concentrate on is by clicking on the various domains within a particular content area of your state assessment. So I'm going to pause the screen, and remember, we've explored your students through the domains. There's some other options available to you if you choose to do so within the SLDS platform. If you go back to your teacher dashboard and you scroll down to the very bottom of your screen again, like we did at the beginning, and you came to where we were a minute ago, the State Assessment Classroom Performance, you may have this icon, Georgia Online Formative Assessment Resource. That's your Go For icon. If you have chosen to give your students an online assessment that you created through the SLDS platform using Go For, or you might have given them somebody else's test, which is fine because you don't have to generate your own original test. But if your students take the assessment online, their data will be uploaded into the platform, and the reports will look something like this. As you see, this is a teacher's dashboard with the 2 assessments that she gave. It shows a level of proficiency and the number of students in each. You can continue to drill down into the tests themselves, and you can see it by domain as well, telling you the percentage correct within particular domains. Another option you may have if your district uses Renaissance Learning and gives your children star reading and star math assessments. At the bottom of your teacher dashboard, next to the state assessment classroom performance, you might see local assessment classroom performance, and that is going to be where your star reading and star math assessment data will appear. You click on that icon, a report like this will be generated. You see here star math and here star reading. You see the various levels of achievement by the colored bands. You can click on any sections of the band, and it will generate a report of the list of students. This is ELA Literacy on Watch. It has a list of students' names and GTID number, their grade level, and all the data they get from star reading and star math. This is how the data will appear on a student profile page. And I'll tell you where to locate the star reading, star math student profile information when we go to the student profile page. Let's return back to your dashboard. At the bottom of any page within the SLDS platform, you can migrate down till you get to where you see the search bar. All the good stuff in SLDS seems to be at the bottom of the page sometimes. We've explored your students as whole groups and drilled down to details about assessment results, even down to domains. Well, now we're going to explore individual student data. So I'd like you please to think of a child that you would like to know more about. No, you don't have to know the GTID number, but they should have this current academic school year. The district you teach in should be listed here. If you're at the district level, you may have to select your school. Anytime you change these charts, your screen may gray out for a minute, but it's going to come back dark. If you teach multiple grade levels, you may have to choose a grade level here. I'm just a 6th grade teacher, so it stays here. Once again, your screen may gray out for a minute because your computer is loading your student rosters for that particular school, for that particular grade level. I'm going to come and I'm going to select a child's name. I'd like for you to do the same. Once you know what school, grade level, and child's name, please click Go. Once you do this, this is going to load that student's individual student profile page. Now you'll see the demographics, the attendance, and you're going to scroll down past the student Lexoff scores. Now, here are the assessment results. And you see on my screen, I have GKIS, a writing test, CRCT, and EOGs. We go back as far back as to pre-K even. I'm going to show you a shot of what pre-K data will look like. Here is our pre-K data. The legend is at the top to help you remember what the levels of proficiency are, and is broken down to 4 main areas: personal and social development, language and literacy, mathematical thinking, physical development, and health. And you see the levels of achievement. And under each one of those big headings, you'll see various concepts under each of those. This is end of the year results. So this is at the end of the year when the teachers input this information. As you see, I've gone back to my teacher dashboard. You have GKIS. See this says Springs GKIS. This is click to view. Please click right there. When you do so, the GKIS assessment data will appear on your screen. I took a screenshot to be able to discuss with you what it looked like. These are only a few of the standards shown here. But if you notice on the left-hand side, it says GKIS academic results. On the right-hand says GKIS non-academic results. The academic results contain data for math, reading, language, literacy, science, and social studies. Just looking at the first one, counting and cardinality, obviously these few right here apply to math, and that's not the only one. This is just beginning. But you can see, count your hundreds by ones and tens and where the level of achievement is. On this screen that you uploaded, you'll be able to see the legend at the top to tell you the levels of achievement. On the right-hand side is the non-academic results. They're broken down to 6 areas, like attention, fine and gross, motor skills, and then personal and social development. I find this is part that you could use for your classroom management. If you look at the attention in the first one, it has 4 different areas. Pays attention. But as you scroll down to social and personal development, I think you'll find a lot of criteria there that might interest you in classroom management for your younger students. I'm going to pause here to give you time to explore your pre-K and GKIS data. I'd like to go to various students and see if you see any trends and patterns and the assessment results. But also, I want you to try a different way of exporting this time. Try to export it into Word. And there you can actually type into the export and add notes that you find out about these students. I have now gone back to my live teacher dashboard, and if you're on the GKIS data, you can either click the blue arrow to go back to the student profile page or the blue hyperlink. That's the student profile page. Now we're going to look at the end of grade test or the end of course test. Once again, choose your assessment, choose your content area, and click on it. I'm clicking on this child's 15-16 screen milestones end of grade test math. As you see, it's restated at the top, milestones end of grade results mathematics for this particular child. It is 2 years. This child has 2 years of end of grade assessment data, so they're showing together at 2015-2016 school year, 5th grade level, by domains, and by strands. Then I have 2014-2015, 4th grade, string, by strands, the mastery levels. Can I export this page? Of course you can. Once again, the floppy disk with your various choices you have here. I'm going to pause here so that you can click on the various content areas, on the various assessments to see where your students are scoring. Now remember, the easiest way to search for any child is at the bottom of any page within SLDS. The search bar is right there at the bottom. So anytime you find a child super fast and super easy, just go to the bottom, find the grade, the school, the grade level, the child's name, and click Go. Now, I want to go back to the student profile page, so once again I can click on the blue arrow until I get there. I can click on the student profile page hyperlink. The reason I'm going back here is I'm going to scroll down and see assessment data again with the legend, but then you'll see student growth model, student growth percentile. The legend is here. It is color-coded. Low growth is in red, and it's 1 to 34%. Typical growth is green, and it's 35 to 65%, and high growth is this white gold color, and it's 66 to 99%. Below the assessment data, you'll see the student growth percentile. I want you to read the legend, go to the legend with you. Red is an indicator of low growth. It's 1 to 34%. Green is typical growth, 35 to 65%. The white gold is high growth, which is 66 to 99%. As you see, my child here grew 27% in ELA. In math, they grew 55%. In science, they grew 50%. In the social studies, they grew 52%. If you forget, as you see, you can just mouse over it, and my cursor turns to a hand with a pop-up chart. Now that we have completed the presentation, everyone, even those watching the recorded version, please complete this electronic sign-in. Please open an internet browser and type in the below address. I'm going to read it aloud to you. Lowercase GOO.GL / uppercase M, lowercase HD, uppercase C, lowercase ND. Pay close attention to the URL. It is case sensitive. This is your ticket out the door. When entering your information, please be extra careful entering your email address. We will use the contact information on the sign-in to send you a certificate of attendance. As I said earlier, you may share the certificate with your administration in case you need proof of attending. you're having a difficult time with the URL, please email me directly and I'll send you the complete URL. Near the bottom of the screen, you'll see my email address and the email address for SLDS. If you have questions in regards to the specific webinar, please contact me. If you have more generic questions, please contact the SLDS email address. I want to thank you for participating with me. I hope you found this session beneficial. If you cannot attend a face-to-face training or other training modules, please participate in some of our other webinar training sessions.